These are truly dark and desperate times. I have worked in this inn since my late father perished 40 years ago, and have never seen a sorrier sight. Scores, no, droves of filthy peasants, salt-soaked fishermen, soot-covered scribes, and broken soldiers pass through my establishment every day. Most bring in whatever meager possessions they own to give up for a loaf of stale bread. A few barter their food for whatever gold or relics I have on hand. Strange that even here, at the end of times, so many cling to their wealth. Not one of them stays the night. I've given up trying to charge people for rooms, for not a single soul occupies them now. The only two faces I see consistently in my establishment are the Wainwright, having taken up his skills to aid those with carts and wagons to make the next leg of their journey, and the guard I hired some years ago. She claimed to have worked for a guild of sorts, training men and women in ways of combat. I'm glad to have her here, as it makes staying less terrifying in the face of what looms outside. Whether it is the rotten fields, barnacled coast, or the distant flames of the nearby city, wherever I look, I see doom and despair all around me. Not to speak of that terrifying, overbearing mountain, as if seeking to swallow us all in its shadow. Whatever caused this ruin is spreading, and fast. I fear that soon my home will meet its end as well. I will not run, and I will not abandon this place, but I am powerless to stop what happens out there. And with every day I awake, I feel the tightness in my chest closing in a little more. Every waking hour is a struggle, and it is only a matter of time before our end. I've had a curious set of customers today. 5 travelers in a stagecoach. Normally, I would not bat an eye at this, but they were heading towards the mountain. I thought it preposterous, until I saw them step out of the coach. These were no meager nobodies, but rather men and women skilled in the way of battle, seeking to carve out a path through the corruption ahead. Dried blood on their weapons and armor being the proof of their capability. 4 of them sat by the hearth and took a moment of respite. I did not see the 5th. They didn't leave the wagon, even as the Wainwright worked on it. I saw only a hand with a purse of money poke through the window. Whomever they were, they proved to be a most generous benefactor, purchasing nearly the entire supply of hard liquor in my stock, along with food and other supplies needed for their journey. They also managed to convince my guard to recall her old craft and help their companions refine their experience in combat. I have no idea how, but I know better than to interfere. After eating and drinking their fill, they turned in for the night and left at whatever constitutes dawn these days. I saw them ride out, glints of the torch on their stagecoach filling me with a sense of longing I've never felt before. I doubt I will ever see them again. They keep coming back. 1 coach, 5 occupants, not too often, but often enough to notice. And every time the same. Leave the coach with the Wainwright, peruse my wares, train with my guard, eat, drink, smoke, play darts, sharpen weapons, repair armor, and more, before turning in for the night and riding out at dawn. Sometimes I recognize the faces from the previous visit. Other times it's a wholly different set of 4 warriors leaving the stagecoach, all heading into the places that fell to madness. All heading towards that accursed mountain. How do they do it? Why do they do it? Nothing but death and ruin there. What is so important, so imperative to their goals that they are ready to face certain doom for it? I shudder to even think about it. Yet, one thing I know for certain. Their repeated visits have filled me with vigor, with energy, to keep my establishment running, to keep bartering with the haggard survivors escaping this madness, to stockpile goods for their next visitation, for their arrival is a breath of fresh air, piercing the stench of loathing around us. I understand now. I understand why I wait for their arrival. I understand why I offer them my services. I understand it all. It is in that torch on the back of their coach. It is special. Warmer than the most roaring flame in my hearth. Brighter than any light, second only to what I remember of the sun, for I have not glimpsed it in a long time. That is how they pierce the darkness ahead. That is how they have the will to fight. That is why they seek to reach that mountain. Whatever brought upon this ruin lies there, and thus they ride there to bring an end to it. That flame passing through is what kept my home from falling to the same fate as every other place. It is that flame riding out at dawn that filled my heart with hope for its next arrival. And it is that flame shining through the loathing that showed me my new purpose in these times. I must keep my inn running in this desperate hour of need. I must keep procuring supplies from travelers seeking to escape this crisis. I must keep giving shelter and aid to these brave souls carrying the torch, for this work is my part to ensure they are ready for whatever lies at the end of their journey. Because the fate of the world as we once knew it hangs upon their success or failure.